though, because people watch TV, people watch MTV.
Well, that actually. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're right.
That talks a lot about. There's one thing that I would love to talk to you about. Lots of things that we can do. A little bit more after the presentation. There's something called. There's I can't remember the phrase, but there's like turn off your television day. There's buy nothing day. There's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of things that we can participate in, and I'd love to tell you more about it. I'm really glad you came. It's nice that we
I just hate people don't get involved. They're more interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually
I hear what you're saying with people need to like look at the bigger picture and who they're all affecting with their decisions. So when we're talking about how we're going to have our energy system working, like when we're talking about revamping our energy system, we got to think about if we want to talk about social justice, we want to talk about ecological justice, then we have to come up with some way of meeting our energy needs without screwing anybody over or having sacrifice zones on the earth, right?
So one last thing. I just want to throw out one little reality check connected to what our friend is saying here. Just like acknowledgement, right? That it is a miracle and a privilege that anyone can keep their eyes open to the problems and find the time and the energy to be trying to do anything about it, right? When we all got the boot on our face in different ways, and it's really hard to keep yourself awake and upbeat, not depressed, and it's like really hard to figure out what to do. And like, even though we're not coming here saying there's any answers, like trying to fucking stay awake and stay inspired is a huge thing, right? And so anyway, I just want to acknowledge what he's saying.
I think that's very important. I think a lot of what y'all bring deals with that.
Right.
But I think, dude, how do we get over that? Because I think, the Hollywoodization of our minds is like, you go to the store, they got, what's the magazine? It's like you watching TV. What's the magazine?
all of them.
The gossip magazine.
All of them.
And they peer to you. You walk by, you look at President Obama gay. Or something, then what they talking about? You might open it up, but a lot of people, if they're not conscious or thinking, this is what's going to be their agenda. It's not going to be like, okay, the people from the Beehive coming down here tonight. People in the city need to be knowing. You need to, it's beautiful that you're here, but like, you should be in the library. And it should be crowded.
We were in the library.
Yeah, but like they have a tribute to, I think, what's his name? Not John Coltrane. What's the guy from Toledo? Art Tatum.
Yeah.
They had the library full. I was looking at the picture. Right, which he deserved it. But this deserves that same kind of,
Well, we're on our way. We get big audiences sometimes, but the point is that we give people these posters, and people like you and all you guys in this room take it and you tell the stories, and that's the first step to beginning to solve these problems. Because humans are incredibly clever, and we made this problem. We have all the faculties to solve it. We just have to talk to each other and about it.
Awesome. But just keeping in mind too that the people who often look like they don't care can't care. Like a lot of us fucking can't care for all different reasons, and the process of decolonizing your mind is one of the most important things. Like that's the take-home message from this talk.
I just kind of wanted to bring up this picture about alternative energy has been set up here for a while, so I kind of want to bring up the point that even really like clean energies, solar panels or wind turbines or stuff isn't sustainable at all, and a lot of those alternative energies require in industrial infrastructure to work. Let's say, well, coal mining is really bad, so let's use solar panels. Like, well, you still need the mining infrastructure to get magnesium for the solar panels and things like that. And none of them are real alternatives because none of them are sustainable. And I just want to bring that up.
Thank you.
Right, and there's lots of people who are saying that, and I agree with some of these solutions, is that you have to destroy the system that keeps the power in place, that wants to that keeps the economy and keeps the using of extracting resources alive. That you have to bring down capitalism, that you have to bring down the system, and there are a lot of us who try to get a little bit involved in monkey wrenching the system to keep from going as it does. Whether or not that's the ultimate solution, I don't know, but I know that we definitely can't keep going the way we're going, or we're going to lose our, as Derek Jensen calls it, our land base.
That's a great segue.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of solutions out there. There's 1,000 solutions out there, and a lot of them are already being practiced, right? And the inspiration, if we're going to think critically about how to fit into this world, then we got to look at our history, right? So we go back to chapter 1, and there's this scene of a beaver dam. And beavers, when they move into an area, like, they might seem really destructive at first, knocking down all these trees, but the dams they build actually provide habitat for fish and for heron, and they collect silt and sediment from washing down the stream. So when they move on to another area, all that silt and sediment is left behind, and it's this beautiful, rich soil that all these plants just burst up in, right? And the idea of stewardship, leaving a place richer than you found it. There's also a snail up here harvesting corn, beans, and squash, the 3 sisters, because when you plant those 3 together, they're mutually beneficial, and it doesn't deplete the soil like monocropping, right?
So at this point, you guys are like, oh, come on. Wait, you're gonna tell us to go live in the woods and like be naked and make things out of sticks and just be primitivists, right? That's not what's happening here. We're talking about being inspired by other mindsets and taking instruction from those things and looking at them and understanding how we fit into like our world right now.
Exactly. So downstream we also see a mud puppy collecting clean water, a crayfish harvesting ramps, some chestnuts up there, harvesting local foods, understanding your area, adapting your life to your area instead of drastically changing your location to fit your life. I mean, why are we shipping apples all the way from Chile when we can grow them in our backyard?
Sure. So we also have this scene with a group of critters gathered around a fire, telling stories. They're being called to council to share with each other. Also note that Chapter 1 takes place under a night sky. There's a really specific reason why we chose to do this. When the bees went to visit Bill Kaler, who's the head of a lobby group called Friends of Coal, they asked him, why do you believe that mountaintop removal is necessary? And he said, well, I'll tell you, kids. Have you ever been in a power outage? Have you ever been in the dark? It's scary. Coal keeps the lights on. We need that coal. That's it. We just need it. And the bees that went to talk to him about that were kind of taken aback and didn't really know how to answer that kind of argument because, boy, what do you say to that type of mindset? Now, it's interesting because there are a lot of very good reasons why we have this instinctual fear of the dark. But at the same time, is it really appropriate for us to try to like totally obliterate it by filling our world with 24-hour Waffle Houses and sodium lights on every highway and parking lot and street corner and flickering TV screens all over the place? What are we losing by losing the nighttime? Full half of our lifetime. We're losing the opportunity to sit around a fire and share stories. We're losing the opportunity to sleep peacefully and to dream.
To see the stars.
To see the stars. And what effect is that having on us as a society?
We're losing hormonal balance. And there was a study in Italy looking at prepubescent youth, and they took away artificial light, primarily television, video games, and television, video games. What's the other big one? There's obviously another big one. television, video games, and
Computers.
internet. Yes, and they found that their melatonin levels went up dramatically within a couple of days, and that one of the explanations for the huge outbreak of early onset puberty is all of the artificial light that we absorb. And some people may not believe it, but people used to live in the dark every once in a while. And then we got afraid of the dark, and we created this marvelous infrastructure.